From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. Your CR for stimulus 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and your SS 200 2.0. In this recording direct line from Santa Monica, California, we'll go over a Build Back Better Act, the fourth stimulus recon that will get passed, but now CR for stimulus 1.0 delivered on this channel has the support of 2.0 passed in the House on Friday. The House Democrats passed the second version, 2.0, and the Senate Democrats minutes thereafter, Senate Republicans minutes thereafter said 3.0 is going to get passed and merged into 2. Oh my goodness. Then we'll go over the fourth opportunity to get a check into another body of legislation, that's CR for stimulus 3.0 in this recording. Then we'll be turning to the incredible details of the opportunity of the President of the United States to do SS 200 2.0. SS 200 was $200 a month for 6 to 12 months promised on the campaign trail. That would only run upwards of 6 to 12 months, but I'm going to show you in this video how you can get upwards of a lifetime of this money. And the opportunity is before Joe Biden right today. I'll go over the latest breaking details. Then we'll be turning to the opportunity for the president to repurpose money and send it out the door and get you those incredible sums of checks. Yes, you see that the bacon's bacon and the butter is buttering and the coffee is brewing. The donuts are not donutting, John. I love that expression from John overnight. But we're going to go over all the incredible details of the Build Back Better Act that is passed and will be passed in the Senate. But now a House of Representatives passes a CR for stimulus overnight. My goodness. The Senate changes for CRs for stimulus 3.0 heating up. And the incredible programs of this recon or the CRs will give you a lot of money. Plus, in the final minutes of this video, we'll go over third stimulus and how you get those incredible sums of money. And yes, you've already heard how fifth stimulus, we don't need it if we get the SS 200 out the door. We have a lot of money in this recording, and I'm excited you're here. It's a big morning with not one, but multiple pieces of legislation going to the finish line. One passing less than 48 hours and another one coming within minutes as the Senate Republicans, yeah, you heard me right, saying I'm ready to deliver this as well. Just don't tell Mitch. It'll be like, where are my lobster shorts in this equation? Mitch, can you just sit back and wait for the lobster shorts in the next bill? Those incredible details heating up right now as Mornings LA gets underway live from Santa Monica, starting right now. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful morning here in Southern California, and hope the weather is improving where you are. Well, the recon passed in the House back in November, but on Friday, another piece of economic legislation passed and has now been sent to the Senate. It's CR for Stimulus 2.0, and 3.0 is the Senate version that the senators say will merge together very quickly. Whoa. This is lots of checks covered in this video, including that MSC. Then we'll be turning to the opportunities for stimulus recon, CR for stimulus, third stimulus, how you can get thousands of dollars by the end of today. Viewers have gotten $10,000 to $15,000 in the last 48 hours. I'm going to go over their incredible success stories in this video. Stay to the very end. Student alone, but fifth stimulus heating up with the SS 200 back in play, and I'm going to show you how Joe Biden can get this for more than 6 to 12 months for you. He can get it a lifetime. It's all the incredible details. Stay to the very end. We have a lot coming up in today's recording, and this, my friends, is LALATE, the #3 most watched financial news channel in America. Help us get to number 2 by subscribing. We're number 3 among broadcast, cable, and internet broadcasters. Bring us to number 2. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP to get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday. Sign up for those LA alerts so you don't miss that newsletter across the board. In this recording, we're going to go over the 3 classes of checks and 3 add-ons that give you all this incredible money in this recon. That adds up to at least $15,000, but arguably up to $60,000. Let's jump right into that first cluster of checks. Here we go, starting right now. Hazard Pay got in there. Yes, great news. 1 more year. Hazard Pay is in 3rd stimulus. They propose it now in 4th stimulus for my essential workers. Learn about it at irs.gov under Earned Income Tax Credit. CTC, $3,600 extended for 1 more year. Child Tax Credit. Learn about that also at IRS. That is $3,600 checks. $550 checks got in there for the college students. The Pell Grant. They got in their checks to repair your home if you live in a low-income community. They got in their $4,000 of elder checks to help elders across the board, $4,000 of care for young children. They got in there $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Wow, that is incredible. I told you there's a lot of checks in this recon. No bacon. No bacon. But the incredible checks have 3 add-ons, and we're going to go over the first add-on right now. This is one that makes so many viewers of this channel, the Purple Power, so excited. It is money for first-time home purchases. This is single-family residence, money given from the federal government to the seller in your name at the time of escrow, a little bit less than $25,000. It came from Maxine Waters, and it got in there. Let's turn to the second cluster of checks. Home repairs and paid leave. Home repairs this time is to weatherize your home, and the paid leave is absolutely incredible. What is it? If you have to stay home from work due to sickness or illness, or a household member has to. How much is it? It's a lot, folks. $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. If you make $35,000 or more per year, it's $800 a week. If you make $15,000 or more per year, it's $400 a week. How many weeks? 4 to 6 weeks per year. W-2, 1099, you all get it. Now, if you don't work, but your son or daughter does work, and they have to take off from work to take care of you, then they get the check as well. It's huge, and that is the second cluster of checks. That brings us to the second add-on, and you know what that second add-on is? It comes with incredible Bob Casey, $250 billion for free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Seniors and people on disabilities like Medicare don't have this just yet, shockingly. So this is a campaign promise from Joe Biden. They got it in there. This is free home health care, which brings us then to the incredible third cluster of checks. I think you're ready for this deliciousness. Here we go. Free internet across the board. Money for the farmers. Money for the independent contractors. Free school meals for all. Checks. And then seniors. 2 checks on the House side, 3 coming from the Senate side. On the House side, they got in there the Medicaid gap fix. More about that later. And the checks for hearing. The senators vowed to add 3 more, which are dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 55, which is par for the course when we're talking about senators adding provisions to the recon, because guess what they also want to add in there? You know what those 3 letters are? Write them right now in the live chat. Write them right now. It's MSC. MSC. What is it? Who gets it? How much is it? And how do they add those incredible provisions? Let's go over it right now. MSC is a body of checks, a program to be added to the recon of the Build Back Better Act that stands for monthly IRS stimulus checks. They are checks that come out from IRS on a monthly basis. It differentiates from the other checks in the recon. There are many of them, multiple. These are ones that come out from IRS. So who gets them? Well, the legislators, the senators, have told tens of thousands of viewers of this channel since the month of May last year that the eligibility would be the same as a third stimulus check. So let's go over those details right now. Single individual, $75,000 less, you would get it if that's your annual income. Married couple, $150,000 less, you get it. Double it if that's your annual income. Family of 4, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security or Rail benefits, you would get it as well. Adult dependents would also get it. It is not income. It's not taxable. It's offered nationwide, not state by state. It goes off your most recent tax return. So if that tax return had a direct deposit account on there, that's how you'd get paid. And this, my friends, is sent out from IRS. And there you go, which then cues up the question, how much? How much? Those legislators represent $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. And there you go, my friends. That is MSC, which then brings us to the question of how do they get it this big? And lots of checks, upwards of $60,000. The Senate Democrats would send it to Senate subcommittee, add stuff in there, not remove anything in there. Then they have a bill. Then they'd send it to the Senate floor. The Senate floor would then vote, and then we have a 2-day votorama. Very, very simple, straightforward. But we have an issue, and the issue is time. And so 2 Saturdays ago, I sat back and I thought, should I bring it back on camera? Should I bring CR for stimulus back? And I said to viewers, do you want me to bring back from 2020? And before I was finished with the sentence, they said, are you bringing back CR for stimulus? I said, do you want me to? And they said, yes. And I did. And that is what's changing potential history again right now. But first, let's go over what CR for stimulus means. If you're a new viewer of this channel, it dates back to 2020 when this channel was very new. In spring of 2020, the first stimulus package had passed. We were just at the start of COVID. It had run out, and the money was used. And so people needed more money. And that started the negotiations on a second package that was going to be called the second stimulus package. It was a package, so it was thousands of pages in length, 3,000 plus pages in length. The negotiators at the time, starting in the spring of 2020, were Nancy Pelosi out of San Francisco, Speaker of the House, on behalf of the Democrats, and Steve Mnuchin out of New York on behalf of the Republicans. They negotiated in the spring, no deal. In the summer, no deal. Summer, winter, fall, no deal. Then winter, no deal. And I said, this needs some fixing. So I said, there's a common theme here. They're just not getting it done. So I thought to myself off camera, this is what I need. I need something not a package. I need something small, a small bill, 100 pages in length, not 3,000 pages in length. I need something that will pass with bipartisan support. And I need something that has an inherent deadline. Because it's been 11 months of this negotiation of 2020. We need something that goes quick. And I found it. A continuing resolution. What is a continuing resolution? Every 3 to 6 months, the federal government must do a budget bill, often called a continuing resolution, that determines the funding of the federal government. It has an inherent deadline because it has to be done within a few days, a week, maybe a month they'll roll it over, but they can't roll over several months because the federal government would default. It goes by bipartisan support, has an inherent deadline, and it's a couple hundred pages. It's not thousands of pages in length. So I prepared in my mind how to make the first recording for the viewership of this channel, The Purple Power. I also prepared for the criticism I was expecting to hear from the recording, and I also prepared for the advocacy of a potential break away from second stimulus for a short period of time. And with that, in December 2020, I went on air and I said, hey, everybody, we've been watching second stimulus for months. It's been 11 months. And while I still have my support behind second stimulus, I have another idea for you, and it's called CR for stimulus. Hashtag CR for stimulus. If you're in the live chat right now, write the hashtag campaign. I said the reason I like this is the following. 1, it has an inherent deadline. They can't roll this over several months. 2, it goes by bipartisan support generally. Number 3, it doesn't have thousands of pages in length. And number 4, it's a simple bill. All we have to do is advocate for the insertion of a stimulus check in that continuing resolution, which had an inherent deadline then of December 2020. And viewers started to advocate. CR for stimulus started to trend online. It trended nationally. But immediately as it started to trend, so too did the criticisms come on in. Come on in, criticism. What did the criticism look like? Exactly what I anticipated. He's crazy. There's that LALATE. He's crazy again. I said, excuse me? He said he's crazy. It's a bill to fund the federal government. It's money for the federal government. It's not money for the American people. It's to fund the federal government. It doesn't belong in there. No check for the American people belongs in a continuing resolution. Doesn't belong in there. I was ready with my answer. You're right. It doesn't belong in there. That doesn't mean it can't be in there. Since the beginning of time, Congress has passed legislation where they've inserted things into the legislation that don't belong in there. During the pandemic, both political parties were notorious with this. There was a COVID relief bill that gave money to foreign military governments. There was a COVID relief bill that proposed to build a new FBI building. There was a COVID relief bill that proposed to expand the Department of Copyrights. Why not insert a stimulus check in there for ourselves? So I made the recording, and then we pushed. And one morning we woke up in December 2020, and we were told stimulus is going to the CR. We thought we had one until we looked and we realized, no, it's unemployment stimulus. That's not what we asked for. So we pushed again, and we woke up, and we won. We made history. My recordings changed American history because $600 was inserted into the continuing resolution and became law. The continuing resolution was passed in December 2020. A $600 stimulus check was inserted because of this recording. No one had ever heard about it until I made the recording. And that $600 stimulus check landed in people's hands in December and the following January. Now, case in point, second stimulus never happened after that. There never was a second stimulus check. The package never passed, and there never was a vote. So 2 Saturdays ago, I went on air. I said, you want to bring it back? Let's look at what's going on right now in 2022. 11 months of negotiations, no deal. 2 people negotiating, Joe Manchin and Joe Biden, no deal. And we need the money. And viewers said, yeah, bring it back. So we brought it back, and guess what happened? That was a Saturday. By the following week, approximately a week and a half, last Thursday, the House Democrats came out and said the same thing as I have been recording in the last 2 weeks. We support Build Back Better Act. It will get done. We like it. But we need other pieces of economic recovery legislation passed before it that are smaller, quicker, and faster to give you relief because the forced stimulus recon is taking too much time. And that, my friends, happened on Thursday. Last Thursday, Representative Pete Aguilar out of California said that we need absolutely many pieces of legislation that will alleviate supply chain issues and tamper down inflationary pressures. And we need to get those economic recovery packages passed right away. Now, understand, the Build Back Better Act is social reform, your teeth, your vision, your hearing, and also economic reform, your wallet. Aguilar saying we need wallet-based economic recovery to come in right away. That was Thursday, last Thursday. I delivered the breaking news to you that CR for Stimulus, our CR for Stimulus 1.0 was working because now they're trying to do their version in the House. And then late on Thursday, I said, you know what? They now indicate it may pass by Friday. Well, Friday I went live on air during the breaking news report, special report, and guess what? That House version passed. 48 hours ago, that House version passed. We call it CR for Stimulus 2.0. Then, what happened after that? 3.0 has now heated up, and 4.0 is in the works. Meantime, what's going on with SS200? 2.0 is coming up in the second half of this video. And the opportunity for the president to repurpose money? Oh boy, a lot of things and a lot of brand new things. It's all coming up in today's recording. You're going to see how we have gone from Build Back Better Act to now CR 1, 2, 3, and 4.0 for stimulus. SS200, 200, and then I'm going to show you how you can get big monies for rent, utilities, and more. Stay to the very end. We have a lot of money coming up the second half of this video. It's getting very exciting. The excitement continues on a live broadcast of Mornings LALATE. I'll see you back in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's the community page.
volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now as Mornings LA continues live from Santa Monica, California, with incredible great news of CR for Stimulus 2.0 passing less than 48 hours ago in the House. It's now off to the Senate, and CR for Stimulus 3.0 is in the works. And in the second half of this video, you're going to see how 3 and 2.0 are vowing to merge together. Wow. We'll be looking at 4.0 as well. Plus, we'll be looking at the Build Back Better Act and the incredible checks across it, and the opportunity to get third stimulus by the end of today. Viewers have gotten $10,000, $15,000 in the last 2 days from this channel. It's all incredible, great news. Then, SS200, you remember it. Well, and we also been talking about for fifth stimulus. But can the president do it with SS200 2.0 and get you checks lifetime? He can. And it's coming up in the second half of this video. We have a lot going on. I'm excited you're here. But first, I want you to subscribe. Go right on this video and become a subscriber to LA. And help bring this channel from number 3 largest financial news channel in America to number 2. Like the video and become a member of Pearl Hawk, Pearl Power, or Calcino VIP to get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday. Also sign up for the LA Alerts, which are totally free, a link to which is under the video's description. In the second half of this video, we go over CR for Stimulus 1.0 and now 2.0 passed in less than 48 hours, 3.0 and 4.0 at issue. A lot of big money, and then we'll be turning to SS200, 2.0, and how to get those incredible sums of money. We have a lot coming up, and the excitement starts right here as we go into a big second half of Mornings LA, live from Santa Monica, California, as the audio will clear up in just a second. And here we go. Well, the great news when you look at the CR for Stimulus is that we now have not 1, 2, but 3 and 4 embodiments across the board. The concept of CR for Stimulus is very simple. That Build Back Better Act will pass, but we need something to go out sooner, quicker, bipartisan support, and smaller. It doesn't have to be a continuing resolution. It could be something else. And so we use an expression of CR for Stimulus to refer to other things that mirror the same concept. CR for Stimulus 1.0, I'm going to go over its latest update in just a second, but let's turn to the excitement of 2.0. On Friday, the House Democrats passed a new economic recovery bill that has now been sent to the Senate. The concept is very simple, that Americans need economic assistance right now, and away we go into the Senate. What I've taught viewers over the last few days is do not focus on what the name of the bill is, or what it looks like, or what it's called, pancakes or chocolate cake. Just focus on the ability to insert provisions in there. That bill quickly passed in less than 24-hour turnaround time in the House, now in the Senate. Then, does the Senate have its own version? It does. The Senate Republicans, and you're hearing me right, Senate Republicans have now done their CR for Stimulus 3.0, which basically is a different economic recovery bill, and guess what they say? They're going to merge, and they're going to merge very quickly together to become one. Wow. Senator Todd Young, a top GOP, that's Republican, leader of the Senate, says that my hope is that the process will continue to move forward. Oh my goodness, that's great news. The Democrats have passed their bill in the House on Friday, and then we, Senate Republicans, can go to conference and come up with a piece of legislation that's more reflective of what we, as all senators, Republicans and Democrats, can pass. We will work very quickly to improve what we've done here in the Senate, and we'll send it to the House, which will have an opportunity to get this all done across the board. My goodness, that is incredible great news. So that is first That is a second and third CR for stimulus, what we call CR for stimulus 2.0 and 3.0. Is there then a update about 1.0? There is. So 1.0 is our original embodiment delivered on this channel 2 weeks ago. The audio will clear up in just a second. And that embodiment started with the idea of using the continuing resolution. The continuing resolution has a February approximately 18th deadline. Two ways to meet that February 18th deadline of the continuing resolution. One, get it done, which is what you want. Or two, stopgap, which is not get it done, maybe roll it over a few days or a few weeks. So, here are two names to advocate to. A new quote by Senator John Tester, Democrat out of Montana, says, the way to get the continuing resolution done by February 18th approximately is getting four key senators, of which two are Democrats, Leahy and Schumer, and the other two are Mitch and a Republican, to agree upon the total price tag of the whole continuing resolution. And that's why, while we've talked about advocacy for a lot of people on this channel and a lot of senators, I want you to advocate to two other senators today. I want you to pick up the phone and advocate to Leahy, who you're not going to see in this graphic. He's spelled Leahy, and Schumer, who you just saw right there. Advocate to them and say, you know what? We need this continuing resolution to be passed in February, and we need that, and we need the inclusion of a check in there. According to the Tester comment, that once you get Leahy and Schumer to lock down that price, the continuing resolution will be done in a week. And there you go. Very exciting. So is there a 4.0 version? Is there a CR for Stimulus 4.0 version? And there is. Let's go over the details of this. This one's a little bit different because it's not stemming from an economic recovery bill. This is stemming from a sanctions bill. So millions of Americans are watching what's going on in Russia and also overseas right now with the Ukraine. Well, back in the United States, there is another small bill, just a few hundred pages in length, in which senators, Republican and Democrats, are coming together, kumbaya, and agreeing to pass a sanctions bill to sanction Russia for putting 100,000 troops on the Ukrainian border. What's at issue? It's called a sanctions bill. And one, bipartisan. Two, small bill. Third, quick. It's likely to pass in the coming week. So this is CR for Stimulus 4.0, the fourth opportunity to insert a check into another piece of legislation that mirrors all that. Understand that all these are not all CRs per point. We're using the expression to refer to the opportunity to insert the checks into something that mirrors our focus. Small, deadline, bipartisan bill across the board. And there you go. Now, does Joseph Biden have an opportunity to get you SS 200 in a way in which he campaigned for and ran the president and ran the campaign trail with? He can, and it's called SS 200. And in this recording, we're going to go over the opportunity to do SS 200 2.0. But first, let's understand what SS 200 was supposed to be. During the campaign trail, Joseph Biden and Elizabeth Warren were both running for president. She had a campaign promise, Liz Warren, to reform the SSI administration, Social Security Administration. Joe Biden adopted her policies during his campaign run and said, I agree. He vowed to change SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, by doing a lot of modifications to the system, and one of them was to include 6 to 12 months of $200 additional checks on top of your existing benefits because of COVID. They believe you were left behind because you did not get enough relief. Well, he wrote that again during his transition papers from campaign promises to then president. When he was president-elect but not taking yet the oath of office, he wrote it again. It did not become a reality. Shortly thereafter, the Senate Democrats said, you know what? I've seen this has not become a law yet, so we're proposing a fifth stimulus. And I covered on this channel throughout much of this last year. This stimulus is still on the books, still in the works, but is there an opportunity to do SS 200 today and to have it lifetime? not just 6 to 12 months. There is. And with that, I delivered to you the incredible details of how to do SS200 right today. I call it SS200 2.0. And what does it involve? It involves using the powers vested in the Social Security Administration. The President of the United States has the ability, in fact, anyone has the ability to pick up the phone and contact a federal agency, say, change your guidelines. The way it works is that under the Constitution, several agencies are established with the inherent authority where they determine how they do things. They determine their guidelines, they determine their benchmarks, and the President can encourage them to change them. And if they do, you're done. Let's look at when the President last did this. He last did this with SNAP benefits in October of last year. He picked up the phone and contacted the Department of Agriculture saying, you know what, raise your benefits across the board. And they did. Everyone's benefits went up 25% a lifetime. And that is what became the reality of today. Well, Joseph Biden can do that again, and how he does it is very simple. He picks up the phone and contacts the Social Security Administrator and says, you know what, replaced COLA with a new benchmark. And the new benchmark, inflation. And what does this mirror? It mirrors what was mentioned in the campaign promises. During the campaign promises, Liz Warren started it. Replace COLA with inflation. It repeated itself under FISTIMUS. It repeated itself under FISTIMUS, with the FISTIMUS promises also saying, replace COLA with inflation. And what does this do for you? First, we're going to go over the math of it, and then we'll go over the functionality of it. It gives you approximately $200 more per month, not 6 to 12 months like SS200 was supposed to be, but lifetime. Wow. What's the issue? COLA is the current benchmark. It's been around for many, many years. COLA determines what your benefits are going to look like the next year. If COLA doesn't move, then your benefits don't move next year. And that's been the case for many, many decades. Well, that can't continue that way. And that is why they want to replace COLA with the incredible provision of inflation. When you look at inflation, inflation grows, and inflation was expected to be high in December. Back in spring of last year, I said that the inflationary rate would be about 8% in December 2021. I was right. It came in at 7.5%. So where's your COLA benefits right now? Your COLA benchmark, 5.9%. Swap from 5.9 to 7.5, you'll see about a 2 to 3% change across the board. That'll be about $200 a month. There you go. Very, very simple. That is how you get your SS200 lifetime, not part-time. And it can be done just 30 days out with just a phone call from the President of the United States to the Social Security Administration. The next opportunity across the board is repurposing existing money. Wow, this is huge. The President has the inherent authority to repurpose existing money. How does it work? Very simple. We saw it 2 times under the Trump administration. The first one done, the second not done. The concept is simple. During the pandemic, programs have been established with federal agencies by act of law and then funded. The programs ended, but the money was never all used, and so the money sat there. What does the President have authority to do? Without the act of Congress, without an executive order, the President can simply pick up the phone and repurpose the money for another purpose. And we saw that first under the Trump administration, when FEMA money for hurricanes and disaster became money for unemployment. FEMA was given a program under COVID relief earlier in the COVID days, and that money was to fund a program. The program ended, and the money was not used up, so the money was sitting there. Donald Trump had an issue. Millions of Americans had saw the end to their FTC benefits. That $600 boost that went on top of UI and PUA. So he picked up the phone and said, I want to do this. I want to get them an extra boost for their unemployment, but I don't want to go to Congress. I don't want to go to Congress. Do we have extra money sitting around? They found it at FEMA. Can you imagine the organization of those tornadoes and hurricanes and natural disasters was going to have extra money for your unemployment? That's what he did. He picked up the phone and told them, you're going to repurpose your money. It's going to be FTC 2.0. It's going to be called LWA. The states are going to get it from you and then send it out, and it became a reality. That's how you repurpose money. Now, Donald Trump had a second opportunity. That second opportunity he should have done. If he did, he would have won the presidential election. He did not. What was it? $550 billion sitting around at SBA from ended programs during COVID earlier days that were for businesses. The programs were very, very undesired, and the money sat there. Do you remember last year? Actually, 2 years ago. Do you remember in 2020, I covered the Main Street lending program? Yeah, it was one of those many programs that were just seriously uninterested by viewers and by people. And no one went and got the money because they didn't want the program. They didn't like the program. And the program ended and the money sat there. So he could have repurposed that as 2 stimulus checks. He did not. And guess what? That money actually ended up going somewhere else. So how does Joe Biden do it this time around? He just has to repurpose the money. So what should you do? If you're a viewer and you know and you have found a sum of money in the hundreds of billions of dollars from existing COVID relief programs that have ended, then send me a private message on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's reported about oftenly, but not that often lately. And what's at issue here is that in the case of, for example, the SBA money, it was confirmed by Larry Kudlow at the time and Steve Mnuchin, but these sums of money are still out there. We need to find them and reallocate them across the board. And with that, let's now go into the exciting details coming up next right now with the big money that is in for stimulus across the board. And we're going to look at more of those incredible checks of for stimulus one at a time. And boy, are there a lot of them. Those incredible checks of that for stimulus recon, here we go. In for stimulus recon, there's checks on the Build Back Better Act for the incredible money for the SALT cap, raising from $10,000 to $72,000, $500 of what you can deduct in state and local taxes. They got in there cheaper prescription medication, growing from 20 medications to 30 at the year 2028. Medicare Part B and D, cancer, arthritis, diabetes, the most expensive medications. They got $40 billion of free job training, so you get checks to take a higher paying job. They get the Medicaid gap fix in there as well. This is huge. They'll provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income uninsured people in 12 Republican holdout states. They got $65 per month for nutrition for people in certain that they're not in school. They got the CTC, the child tax credit, $3,600 one more year. They got the earned income tax credit for hazard pay one more year. They got the $4,000 of care for elderly in there. The $550 Pell Grant, the $12,500 check for a new electric vehicle, and then they got in there the housing. Third stimulus. The great news, pull out your pen and paper and pull out that newsletter if you remember this channel, is that third stimulus is still paying out this money. Who would have thought? The great news is that third stimulus passed in spring of 2021 is still paying out those incredible sums of money. Get your pen and paper ready because we're going to go over those sums of money right now. Third stimulus money is huge because rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. And let's look at those numbers right now. Here was the graphic back in October 2021. It has grown to $40,000. Wow. Rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. Where do you get it? 6 places. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. And the key words you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. 3 must. You must reach out to all 6 places. You must get multiple applications on file, and you must do multiple rounds. More about those multiple rounds in a second. Utility assistance, you want to get that as well. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $15,000 a year. Go get it. Snap. Money for food you get from the Department of Agriculture, and boy, is a lot. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year, a lifetime. That's $250,000 over 10 years. Then you would get combos. Here's 3 items that Nietzsche and Sullivan started countless viewers on, inspired all of us. Mark was at 2. He had 2 items. I said Mark was your third. He went from $32,000 to $50,000. Now he's over $100,000. Lorraine, she was at 105. Now she's at 120, which tees up then the question of how does this round work? Very interesting. So when third stimulus became law in spring of last year, people got rent in these items from about January, February, March, April, about $45,000 for a few months. Then they got another round last summer. Then in the winter, I told viewers to get another round because it's Christmas. They got it on average November, December, January. Now you should get another round across the board. Coming up later today, we have a brand new Afternoons at LATE at 3 o'clock. It's a great new show. We have Evenings at LATE at 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock as well. But next up is Home LATE at 11 a.m., which brings you then into the 1 o'clock Afternoons at LATE show. The great news is that we now have CR for Stimulus 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. 1.0 being our original opportunity to put a stimulus check in the continuing resolution. Advocate to Leahy and Schumer to make sure they don't do a stopgap and they insert the provision. 2.0 passed in the House on last Friday. This is an economic recovery bill, not an actual CR itself. And 3.0 is already in the Senate being worked on by the Republicans. They vowed to merge 3 and 2 together. 4.0 is also an opportunity with that Russia sanctions bill likely to be passed at any moment, bipartisan in the Senate. Then we have the opportunity for the President of the United States to send out SS 200 2.0 by just changing the benchmark for cola inflation. It's simply a phone call and would change your benefits a lifetime. And then finally, repurposing existing funds. Finally, my success stories. Viewers have had success for the rent and utilities in the last few days. If you've had it as well, send it to me in private message. If I haven't featured you on the air yet, send it again. Yesterday on Evenings LA, we had 2 viewers. One who got $10,000, one who got $15,000. Crayola helped another person. I think the viewer got $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000. Viewers are doing really well with this additional round, but send me a private message so I'll feature you on air. And with that, I want you to part of this incredible family. Sorry about the audio in today's video, but subscribe. Like this video and consider becoming a member. We have a lot of shows throughout the day, and coming up next is noontime. Then we go into afternoon at 1 o'clock. Subscribe, like this video, and consider becoming a member and continue to advocate across the board. The toast is toasted, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing, and I hope the ice is melting. It's a big bold Mornings LA. Stay here, and LA continues throughout the day.